So I was, watching the news, looking at the headlines, that kind of thing. Um, Trying to figure out what I wanted to do today. Well, no, that's not even really entirely true. I knew what I wanted to do. I was trying to figure out how I was going to go about doing what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about the dude in Atlanta that got shot over the weekend. I kind of finally got to a point where I figured I'll go through what happened, and then I'll just kind of critique all actions throughout the course of it and just give my take on things. And then I was going to go through possibilities of things that could have been done differently that would have resulted in a better outcome, or at least what those outcomes would be ultimately when we got to the end of it, and what the different outcomes for all the different possibilities. I was going to do that. I'm still going to do that, probably going to do that tomorrow. Today, I would kind of like to talk about the snowball effect that at this point really cannot be stopped. I'll just throw it out there. It just can't be stopped at this point. There is no choice. The only way out is through at this point. It started when everybody was stupid enough to blow off, "We're not keeping score anymore, everybody gets a trophy." Right? When we started doing that kind of shit, that whole everything with all of that, it's like that kind of shit, step one. The banning of books, book bannings, that might have been more step one. But nevertheless, when we started to attempt to alter the world because we wanted to be more sensitive about things, that was a bad fucking idea. That was a really fucking bad idea. And a lot of people said, this is a really fucking bad idea. And a lot of people said, this is a great idea. And everybody in between said, I don't fucking care. That was a really bad idea. Everybody who said, I don't fucking care, that was your moment to make a decision, to speak up, and to fight for what you felt was right. Like that was your fucking moment. I don't like the idea of books being banned. I don't like the idea of book burnings. I don't care how fucking much you don't like it. Yeah, a lot of shit is out there. Das Boot isn't something you should read and enjoy. It's I think, I don't know, but I think it's the all Nazi propaganda and shit. It's all that what Das Boot does. Like, isn't that Hitler's memoir? Whatever the fuck it is, doesn't matter. It's shit that when you read it, you should be disgusted. Cooking people, shit like that. That should disgust you if you're a human being. That's murder. And for the reason of being Jewish, it's stupid fucking useless murder. I don't give a shit who the fuck you are. If you align with that sort of thing, you're not going to find support here. Because that's stupid murder. It's murder! So we should be able to read those things. Huck Finn, at a time where the dread word was thrown around so flippantly, we should read that and be like, yeah, people didn't really have respect for other people as people. And that's not good. It should make you uncomfortable. You should have to feel that uncomfortability. So that you remember, when it comes around time for somebody else to be in that particular barrel, you should remember how that shit made you feel in school when you had to read that book. And it was sad. to think that at one time people considered other people to be less than people just because of something so fucking arbitrary as what they look like. That's a great time to be thinking that kind of shit. Because you're a kid. You all look goofy. Everybody goes through, I look so goofy. It's a common theme. Everybody thinks they stand out like that. People don't like them because I look weird. It goes through everybody's fucking mind when you're at that age. No, you can't do that shit anymore. Because it's a dread word. So we began to weaken ourselves as a society. And we were okay with things being changed in small ways that seemed insignificant. But everybody that said all these kids are going to grow up with unrealistic expectations of the world. And they're going to think that they could just throw a temper tantrum and get what they want. If you just give a kid what he wants when he throws a temper tantrum, they're fucking stupid. Man, I was a big nose picker when I was a kid. I used to pick my nose, eat the boogers. All the time. I used to do that when I was a kid. Right? And my parents, I don't know if I've ever actually fessed up directly to them for that. So, Dad, what do you want? My parents said to me, if you can go a whole week without picking your nose and eating it, then we'll buy you a G.I. Joe. Which pretty much just told me that as long as I picked my nose and ate the booger in front of them on a Sunday, by Sunday I get another G.I. Joe. Because that's what they did. I'd pick my nose and eat it. They'd see it. Be like, oh, you know, you just got a toy today for not doing that. And I'd go, oh, I know. I wasn't thinking about it. Whatever the fuck excuse I used. Whatever it was. And they'd fall for that shit. Alright, well the deal's back on. From here on out, no more of that shit. So, okay. After a couple of weeks of that shit, I figured it out. I knew how to game the system. That early, I was learning the mechanics of video games to break them. And just benefit myself way more than I should. And I had a grocery store bag full of every G.I. Joe I wanted. Because they let me get away with that dumb shit. They didn't figure out I was gaming the system. If you teach children that they can game the system by just being an asshole, they're just going to be assholes. Right? After a time, I think my parents did finally catch on, but they were just like, look, we're not doing this anymore. Just don't eat your nose boogers anymore. But that's what they should have done in the first place. They should have said, stop that. Every time I do, stop that. That's what they should have done if they didn't want me to do it. Every time they see me doing it, going, stop that. Right? Or go make me stand on the fucking vent grate. Ugh. Our timeout area was awful. And it wasn't timeout back then. It was go stand in the fucking corner. Well, it wasn't even go stand in the fucking corner. It was just go stand in the corner. My parents didn't swear. Even nowadays, like, I'm an adult. I don't play this up for the fucking YouTube to just demonetize everything. I cuss this much. Believe it or not, I do make attempts to dial it back. That might surprise and shock some of you. Yes, I am cuss way more than this when I'm just normally out. And I don't become a different person from my parents. I've said, look, you guys are going to have to accept me the way I am. Be lucky all I am is foul mouth. Like, you should be happy that that's the worst thing you're probably going to have to deal with from me. Is that I'm foul mouthed and in front of you. Oh, what disrespect it is. Come on. It's the fucking way I talk. Deal with it. Like, then they are calling me. And so, like, it's funny because they'll cuss around me now. Like, it's almost like the seal's been broken, so now everybody can just kind of cuss whenever they fucking want to, right? So, like, my dad's getting to the point where he'll actually say it, you know, with a full voice. But there was a time where it just, and I said, they would whisper the shit. But yeah, so, like, if you're just told to accept something, ultimately people accept it. Because most people are like, well, I don't give a shit. Right? But it turns really fast. Today we're all being asked to hate and fear and shit on police. And it's working. Like, defund the police. Oh, what a silly thing to ask for. They don't need to ask for it. They need to demand it loudly, violently enough. That's all they need to do. Demand it loudly and violently enough. And when people learn, if I don't support this, I'm going to have my life snatched away. Whatever that might be. Could be your actual corporeal self. Somebody's going to snatch up my soul out of my body if I don't fucking go with this shit. Or it could be, if I talk out against this, then the mob is going to come after me on Twitter. And I'm never going to be able to show my face there again. Or it could be, if I go against this, the mob is going to come after me on Twitter. And I'm never going to get a job again. Or I'm going to lose my job. Right? A fucking soccer player. His wife, who I guess was like states away, his wife tweeted something critical about Black Lives Matter. And this guy was pulled off the field, told, you will apologize for what your wife said because she's an evil racist person. He came out and apologized for what his wife said because she's such an evil racist person. And then they fired him. For his fucking wife's tweet. So people are learning. Go with the flow, man. There's a lot of, German people. One time felt the same way. They're killing motherfuckers. They're snatching motherfuckers up and putting them on trains and we just never see them again. I don't want to be that. And there's a whole army of people out there that are happy to push it. And they are. And now we've got cops retiring. Cops just straight up fucking walking off the force. Right? You've got cops finding razor blades in their food, which doesn't matter if it was purposeful or not. Even the cops, they investigated it and said, we went through the fucking restaurant and we looked at their equipment and this blade was like the other blades they have in their equipment. I've seen them. It's the potato cutters or fucking tomato cutters, whatever the fuck you're cutting with them, right? And it's a bunch of crisscross razor blades, right? And yeah, sometimes they fall out. Was it purposeful? Or did somebody pull the razor blade out of that fucking thing and throw it in their food? Doesn't matter. Because you're going to have cops seeing that story. Seeing the story about the dudes that got the bleach milkshakes. Seeing about the dudes that got the fucking glass baked into their pizza. And they're going to be like, because normally a story like that would have probably been local fucking news. You'd have heard about that in bumfuck wherever the fuck it happened. And it happened in New York. A couple of them, I think, happened in New York. I think the glass and the bleach was in New York. And the other one was somewhere the fuck else. I don't remember. But, yeah. That shit happened in New York. Well, that would have been like local New York news. Oh, cop got fucking glass baked into his pizza. I wonder if they did it on purpose. And, you know, that would be it. We wouldn't hear that as national news. But we're hearing it as national news now. So now everybody's knowing that that's going on, at the very least. And when you start hearing more and more of those stories, you gotta wonder, are these things being done on purpose at this point? Right now, I'd go as far as to say, I didn't really get all the details on the glass incident. I don't know. But it sounds like the razor blade one is probably legit. That fucking thing fell out of it. Those cutters are shitty as fuck. And companies are amazing at just rigging up old equipment to continue to function to some degree. And, right? Entirely possible that could have just fell out of there. The bleach thing, or the cleaner thing, I'm sketchy with that, but the police investigated, and like the police benevolent organization came out and said this is purposeful, and then later on said, alright, we looked at it as an accident. So I'm kind of like, okay, but how does that even look to a guy on the job? Mayors are already openly not supporting their police departments. Governors are already openly not supporting fucking chiefs, commandants, all these fucking people. I'm just throwing out ranks at this point that I know are high up. I don't know, captains. All these people are coming out here and there, and they're fucking shitting on their own men and women. If you're a nice, 20-year on the job man, a nice cynical cop, even if you're a rookie, it's all piss and vinegar and wanting to save the world, you're going to be looking at this going, shit, did the fucking police benevolent organization just say that was an accident? With all this other shit going on? Is there anybody I can trust? So a lot of guys are just like, fuck it. This is not worth it. I can go be a security guy and sit with my little fucking uniform at a desk all day and not have to deal with this shit. Nobody's shitting on security guards right now. Yet. It's just cops. Fuck cops. So they're quitting in droves. This thing that happened in Atlanta. Fucking, they immediately fired the dude that did the shooting. But no investigation. Just fire his ass. The other guy put on administrative leave. And then the captain quit. So like, what the fuck? So cops are right now the pariah of society. And who wants to be that? Especially considering how much cops make. And they're talking about giving them less money. There are places where they are actually pulling back on funds and shit like that, personnel, departments. So what's going to happen when we have less protectors? The predators amongst us are going to go to town. And with less and less people to check that, the balance will be shifted off. What happens then? When crime spikes by ridiculous numbers? Well, the police that are left are going to have to try harder to keep the peace, right? So they're going to have to try and show force against this. So they're going to start trying to pick up everybody, right? Well, if criminals know, at the worst, I'll be killed and then become a martyr for the cause. And at the best, I'll probably just get let go because I'll cry racism. The police have no bite at that point. And they're going to get more and more people fighting them. Because they're also going to figure, well, if I fight back, they're going to let me go. Because they're not going to be on fucking camera fighting a black dude. So the criminal element of our society, and I'm not saying it's black people, I'm just saying the criminal element of our society is going to have a field day. Because there's no cops. You could steal City Hall. Remember that from, what the fuck was that? That was, that was one of the Die Hard movies. It was the Die Hard in New York with Samuel L. Jackson. Which, I think that was the third one. It was the third one. Third Die Hard with a Vengeance. Here it comes. It's all coming back to me. The kid, he fucking grabs him up. You want to go to juvie for a candy bar? Look around, man. There's no cops. You could steal City Hall. There's a little white kid. There's opportunists in every race, and they're going to see this as an opportunity. They're talking about shutting down prisons. And, like, the courts. There are people talking about scooping up Republicans for re-education. Once upon a time, I'd have laughed that off and thought that's never going to happen. Now, I think it's just kind of laugh it off because it's probably going to happen. And this is, remember, this is all gun violence. And people are buying a lot of guns right now. Right? So wait until they start pushing the, we got to take your guns away shit. So they're going to disarm us. So that we can't protect ourselves from the criminals that they want to run rampant. And there's going to be less police to deal with it. So, crime will get so bad that we'll have to come up with a new police. KGB or Gestapo type police that will deal not only with the criminals, right, but also they'll deal with those nasty Republicans, which used to be played by the Jews. Just, to let you know where I'm thinking, where my brain's at. Like, They're already doing digital book burnings. They're banning books. Can't read that anymore. And where, might you ask, are all the tiki torch wielding? You will not replace us guys. Where the fuck are they? Why aren't they marching? Well, first of all, because it's very fucking dangerous. Because they know nobody's really on their side. A. And B. They can't marshal the kind of numbers Black Lives Matter can. And C. Why bother? See all this racial division that's going on? That's their wheelhouse, man. That's what they want. They're getting exactly what they want. Why do they need to go out and push it forward? All they're going to do is unite everybody against them. They figured it out the first time. A lot of lessons were learned a couple of years ago. So they're just sitting back, biding their time, waiting to be called up from the miners. There's nothing we can do, ultimately. Ultimately, there's nothing we can do. This is a monster that cannot be fed. And it is going to eat this country. And ultimately, there's going to be a backlash. Shit's going to be bloody. Like, we might be able to stave it off till November. But something tells me December is not going to be a great month. I'm just saying. Like, the only thing that might be good is that it might be good in winter. Cold. People might be, not wanting to fucking go out and raise hell because it's cold. But the last couple of years, it hasn't been all that particularly cold in December. So, shit could be interesting. Because I don't think, like, this is the thing. It's a silent majority, man. They don't go out and protest. They vote. Like, because they know, again, many lessons have been learned. They understand the protests, for the most part, don't work. They bring up topics, like, they used to work because there used to be actual injustice. Women's suffrage movement was a protest. It worked wonderfully. Civil rights movement was a protest that worked wonderfully. There were people that tried to fuck it up both times. But ultimately, the protests brought about the argument. And the argument was found to have extreme justice. And people said, you know what? It's not right that some people have to live different from other people because of arbitrary reasons of birth. Right? That shit shouldn't matter. When Martin Luther King said, pray one day that, or I have a dream, one day my children will be judged by the content of their character instead of the color of their skin. And people went, you know what? That's a point. You gotta at least say that's a point. It must be considered. And a lot of people considered that. And we saw change. Because pressure from the populace through voting. We now agree with this. You'll agree with it too because you represent us. Or you won't agree with it and we'll vote your ass out. That's your choice. So in November, we get the chance to vote again. And people will go out and they will voice their opinion. And I don't think that the loudest, most violent side is going to win that debate. If things continue the way they are right now for the next 5 months, I guarantee you that my past prediction will be very fucking true. And all the questionable things will become solidified. Your average Joe, your silent majority, they don't like this shit at all. The only people who are supporting this shit are the people that you see at those protests. Anybody else who's saying, you support Black Lives Matter? Yeah, I do, of course. You been to any of the rallies? Nope. You just got lied to. They're sitting there going, Trump 2020. Like, dude, no. And Donald Trump is going to continue to be hard on this standpoint, and he's going to continue to make these threats, and he's going to be continuing to be told, you can't, it's illegal, and then he's going to continue to just push it until the people say, do it. And they're going to say do it by voting out the people who are standing in the way of him keeping them safe. It's how many people are going to see this. And do you think that when the nutbags lose big in November, they're going to go, oh, well, we tried. A man got killed and cities burned. You put the fucking Antichrist on the throne, and there was a whole lot of outcry that's still going on years later. You re-elect the Antichrist? Oof. You think that's going to go over well? But what choice do you have? Joe Biden? Who will pretty much just do everything these people are demanding? I mean, your alternatives are the Civil War with the support of the government, but it's Donald Trump, versus Civil War without the support of the government with Joe Biden. Or else everybody looks around and stops this shit. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. When I don't see de-escalation happening. I see escalation happening. I see it every day. It's just like, this is it. We said a long time ago, it's fine. Whatever. Everybody gets a trophy. And here we are. We have produced a generation of adults that cannot deal with disappointment. They are emotionally and mentally incapable of dealing with disappointment. And now they're congresswomen and senators, and they run large corporations that run large facets of our lives. We allowed an entire generation of people to go unprepared into the world. So, like I said, the only way out is through. We just get through it. The cooler heads have to keep their heads cool and let the insane people just duke it out. Like that. go underground, pray the right side wins, whichever side that even fucking is, and just, this is a time for prayer. If you're a religious person, this is a time for prayer. If you're not a religious person, I would suggest the New Testament of the Bible. Don't read the Old Testament unless you just want to be like a scholar of the Bible. Because I gotta tell you, it's fucking weird and boring as all shit. It's just boring as all shit. Read the New Testament. Jesus was a pretty cool guy. He was pretty happening, pretty liberal. You know, for the time, he was very liberal for the time. He was controversially liberal for the time, but was nowadays, by nowadays standard, is slightly left of Hitler. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. The dude was an enlightened rabbi. What do you want? And I don't know. Just kind of like read it and kind of think critically about it and what's actually being said. Don't pick and choose. It's not a fucking buffet. Don't pick and choose what you want. You have to soak it all in. Fuck. Like I just. I don't know. But yeah, we are in for interesting times. I gotta say that there have been a lot of times where I've thought to myself, man, I wish I was a fucking teenager again. With the internet and all that shit, bitches giving out fucking nudie pictures at school like their baseball cards. Fucking, you got a picture of Susie naked? Fuck, dude, man, I've had pictures of Susie naked for months now. Rachel's the one. Oh yeah, I've seen Rachel. I don't have any pictures of her yet. You want one? I'll give you a picture. Don't you worry about it, man. I got doubles. I'm like, oh, dude, I would love to be a kid right now. Like, thinking of some of the girls that I went to school with. And now I'm like, I'm kind of glad I'm not a kid. I kind of wish I was younger than 40 going into this, but I'm fairly well trained. I wouldn't say I'm a grizzled adventurer, unless you're talking like D&D and shit like that. But dude, I can cosplay with the best of them, and I understand I'm an adult. Man. Gold card member. That's all I got to say. I'm a gold card member for hopefully the right side. At least the dude who's saying the right shit right now. I don't know. Like, I don't know. We gotta figure it out. We have to fucking think about what's important in life and what we're looking at and where it's going to lead. I think that's the most important thing that's missing right now. We're losing perspective of the future. Perhaps we've raised a generation of people that have no predictive capability whatsoever. They can't see where this eventually leads. I don't know, but it's inevitable. As Thanos said, I am inevitable. And I don't know. Like, because think about it. What do we need? We need our Tony Stark. We need our Iron Man. And that's going to have to be somebody who's going to have to go out and speak well enough of sense to get people to understand what's going on. And who do we have that could even possibly weather the storm of horse shit that's going to happen when they start speaking? Where's our Martin Luther King to talk us back to being rational fucking people again? I can't think of one fucking person. So I don't know. I think we're gonna fucking go through this. I think this is just something we're gonna go through. I think most likely in Germany there was a guy who's sitting around going, there ain't shit we can do. We're gonna have to fucking weather this storm. We're gonna have to go through this. Fuck. We're gonna have to go through it. And where it ends is where it ends. But get ready. Prepare. Prepare yourself for the worst. Hope for the best. Maybe that's what I should. Maybe that's why I should call this video. Prepare yourself for the worst. Hope for the best. Let's hope everybody goes, oh shit, what am I doing? And stops. Takes a breath. And kind of goes, alright, we're getting close to insanity here. And because if that doesn't happen, we're going through this. So get yourself squared with the world. Right? Get yourself fucking figured out. Hug your kids. Don't tell them why you're hugging them. Just fucking be like, just because I love you. They don't need to know about this shit until it fucking happens. But it's entirely possible we're going to go through this. So be ready.